Hey guys, we're here at Creative House Studios in Cleveland, Ohio, and we're going to take a look at the newest Far Cry game, FarCry Primal. Let's get started with pre-gaming. Coming from the Ubisoft studio, Far Cry Primal had a handful of trailers that aired on many different platforms like YouTube, TV, Twitch. These trailers really gave Far Cry a good base on the hype meter. Not only were there plenty of trailers to watch, but they were all done very well, giving the right amount of information about the mechanics, the setting, and the characters, while leaving the main plotline a mystery. Now, I don't want to give my first review a 10 out of 10 on the hype meter, but I have to give it what it deserves, and that's a 10 out of 10. So Far Cry Primal is set on a prehistoric Earth in 10,000 BC, where humans are still very much a part of the food chain. Now you play as Takar, who is the first human who can ever tame these wild beasts that roam around you. Now that pre-gaming is out of the way, let's take a look at what Ubisoft did well in this game, in the segment I like to call, You Got That Right. Since Far Cry Primal came from Ubisoft and is one of many installations of the Far Cry series, I was really excited about this game. My first experience for playing a Far Cry game, the bar was set pretty high. Along with that, Ubisoft has proven time and time again that they're very good at making captivating storylines for their games. Far Cry Primal doesn't fall short against these games. You really feel like you're a hero struggling against the opposing tribe. To combat the enemy tribe, Ubisoft has given you a pretty badass arsenal. You can do things like taming and riding wild animals, you have sweet kill animations, and some pretty badass weapons to use as well. Oh, and the game wouldn't be complete without a couple of crazy drug trips. Another positive note about the game is the key villagers you pick up on the way. Most of them are just plain wacko, but they give the game a much needed comic relief. Now that we are mentioning more characters, it'd be a good time to bring up the fact that none of them speak English. Now, normally I would be kind of mad that I have to read subtitles the entire game, but since it's 10,000 BC, it would make more sense that none of them speak English. Now, I'm not sure if this is an actual language, or would be the language that was used 12,000 years ago. But quite frankly, I don't give a shit. The language used in the game really fits the setting and gives some added depth. Now that we have covered some of the things that Ubisoft has done right, let's look at the things that could use a little help, in a segment I like to call, meh. Overall, this game had some really good positives, but it started off kind of slow. Before I got to about 10% completion, I didn't really want to play this game very much, despite the hype. I think one of the big things that took away from the game is I didn't get to create my character. I just got thrown into the game, not knowing who I was, what I looked like, what my strengths and weaknesses are. It was just, here you go, kill this mammoth or die of starvation. For some Ubisoft games that have a heavy storyline, this is just fine, but it would be an added bonus to create your own character. Just picture being prompted with 3 or 4 different unique looking tribes at the beginning of the game, each one having different passives that will help you with 1 or 2 skills. Then after, you get a choice of a few different looking characters. This would add a whole nother level to the game, making it that much more personal. I enjoyed the cool kill animations of the game, but aside from those, most other animations are pretty lackluster. When I talk about animations, I'm talking about gathering wood, rocks, plants, taking the loot off the dead enemies. These animations are very essential to the game, since making anything in the game relies on picking up all of these resources. First of all, if you notice my gameplay, you'll see my character about to gather some rocks. Hold up right there. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that was f***ing impossible. I don't care who you are, you can't just break up rocks like that unless you're Hercules or Superman. And we all know this guy isn't. On top of this animation being a little ridiculous, there aren't any variations of the animations. You always do the same thing, except for when you feed your pet. There are about 4 or 5 different animations for feeding your pet. This should be balanced across the board, mainly because it's an essential, repetitive thing that happens throughout the game. Those are the things that the game needs a little work on. Now I would like to wrap up the video with a segment called Final Thoughts. Overall, I would say that Far Cry was a fun, enjoyable game that has opened my collection to the Far Cry series, which is another positive for me, but I don't think I would recommend getting this game, because the lack of character creation really takes away from the replay value of the game. And one of the most important ingredients of a good game is being able to play it over and over again. My recommendation to you for a similar game would have to be Skyrim. Although it is an older game and not nearly close in setting, Skyrim is a good example of the character creation that Far Cry is missing. And although the gathering animation never changes, it's not as an essential part of the game like it is in Far Cry. Alright guys, that's my review for Far Cry Primal. If you like it, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and stay tuned for more videos to come. Also, if you played this game, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. See ya!